It is time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. Today, we got NFL Week 3 action. Week 4 of college football, hops of the week, and of course, Pub Talk All-Stars to start the show off and finish it all off. But before we begin, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. It is football season. Weekends are all about college and NFL football. Just by sitting on the couch or throwing a huge football party, you're going to need some chips. And Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's Food Line and Giant to pick up a bag today. All right, lights, beer, action. Right, welcome back to Pub Talk, the most beer-guzzling, down-to-earth beer sports podcast on east of the Mississippi here in Virginia. Welcome back. Brought to you by Route 11 Chips. We're going to get right into it. First topic today, Pub Talk All-Stars. Every single week now, we are back with two of the best beers out there in the land.
Heavy hitters, these guys.
Port City Porter is back in the house tonight.
Oh, she's lovely.
You will see the picture up on Facebook and Twitter tomorrow. The six-packs right next to each other.
City. I did the Porter.
Okay. And then on the left side, we have Oktoberfest, which is another Port City. And it is absolutely wonderful. Like, I am really enjoying this beer right now. I don't know what it is. It's the heavy hitters like the Porter that are not... I don't know. They don't sit well with me.
Well,
but
you're just weird.
Okay, that's fine. Well, Oktoberfest, very good. Port City Porter. No matter what I say, it's still one of the heavy hitters in this.
Absolutely.
Out of Pub Talk, and also the six beer segment.
We should call them a golden all-star.
Golden all-stars.
They get a gold star on the bulletin board.
I'm telling you what, the Porter goes up on freaking Crazy Horse Monument. Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely. But now that Pub Talk All-Stars is out of the way, we will tweet at the guys, the creators from Alexandria, Virginia, of course, because these are some heavy hitters. But it's time to get into the sports. And my God, if Antonio Brown could not fuck up even more, I don't know what else to think, because Antonio Brown is now released from the New England Patriots.
Didn't take him long, did it?
No, it did not. After only 2 weeks with being on the team that you thought that you could never get kicked from, because they're always the team of second chances.
I didn't even think he was there 2 weeks.
Well, he was there for Pittsburgh.
I think they're 11 days, I think, is what they said. 11 days.
Well, he was there the day before Pittsburgh, and he wasn't necessarily on the roster, so you're right. Shows up, can't play against Pittsburgh, shows up against Miami, catches a touchdown pass against Miami. Yeah. So you're thinking that the Patriots are looking great, and then bam. You see these intimidating texts that come out from Antonio Brown, and all hell is breaking loose. And what happens just yesterday on a Saturday, just when you think that you're going to wake up and a normal day of NFL football is going to happen, Antonio Brown is released by the best team in the NFL at this point.
Yeah, crazy.
And you have to look at the Patriots, and they played today, a day right after Antonio Brown has been released. And did they miss a step? Hell to the no. They did not miss a step at all. But we'll get into that later. But Antonio Brown, my God, I really do think he is going to keep his word and not play another down of football in the NFL.
Well, that's his choice. But, when I started going back and taking a look at him and what's, how this mess has transpired, and you got to say he caused it himself. He did it all to himself.
Seems not like that. It seems not that way to him.
He quit on his team. He made all of this shit about himself. And I was reading an article, and one of the things that caught me was Randy Moss, who knows AB pretty well. And he said, I'm surprised it took him this long to figure him out. He's been this way since he was 12 years old. So he knows. They know. They knew what kind of guy they were getting into. And now all this comes up. He can't say or do anything without making it about him. Like he is being put down. He is not being able to do whatever. But I'm sorry. That who anointed you? Who anointed you to be able to do whatever it is that you wanted to do? You know,
and you see what happened today with him calling out Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
You see what he did. He called out Big Ben on the sexual harassment cases that happened almost 10 years ago. Talking about, as Coach is smiling at me, he's calling him out on that, but that's bullshit.
And Ben's had nothing to do with it.
Like,
Not a
this is
damn
crazy.
thing.
Like, let it go. Stop being the center of attention. You're done in the NFL.
Well,
no
he's
one
trying
cares.
to-
No
he's-
one's going to care about you anymore right now.
Well, he's trying to be the victim.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
He's
Yeah,
trying
he's-
to be the victim. He's
And
trying
he doesn't do it very well.
No,
because,
he does not.
So I look at this, and I said, as soon as you started making it about yourself, and you couldn't separate yourself from this, and every time something turned shit sour on you, you made it about something else. You tried to deflect by blaming somebody else, and to me, that's just freaking garbage.
It's childish. It's very childish. Now, what happened in Pittsburgh? Okay, people burn bridges with the organizations that they come from.
Yeah.
It happens. Then you go to another organization, and they did nothing but defend you left and right. He's part of this team, and you burned that bridge to the ground.
Oh,
So
yeah.
then you go to, for a lot of people, the last hope for
It's the
your
last
career,
resort.
your last resort in the best organization in football, the New England Patriots, and you burned that one to the ground in 11 fucking days.
You just signed
Yeah.
your own death warrant.
11
right?
days? You burned the
You really
entire
did.
bridge.
You're
to
on the
ground.
FBI's most wanted list by saying, Bill, you are the guy that can turn shitty people around into good
Yeah.
human beings. What is with this guy?
You didn't
We're on to
burn.
Cincinnati is what he'll say to them. But,
Well, we're on to the couch. That's
Yeah.
where we're going to be fucking.
Yeah.
that's what we're going to be. You fucking couches, Patrick?
No.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
AB might be fucking couches because he ain't going to have much to do.
Oh, man. But you're right. He signed his own death warrant. It's the team that you basically get an opportunity to play a second chance with, and that's great for Antonio Brown. I guess I was blind. I'm a Steelers fan. I was blind to the fact that Antonio Brown, even though he's a piece of shit, he was a good wide receiver. He was.
Oh,
he's one of the best in the league.
He's one of the best in the league.
And my God, there's a difference between what Randy Moss did and Terrell Owens is that they turned their act around. They did.
Yeah.
They completely changed their attitude, and Randy Moss is now one of the greatest receivers of all time. Same thing as Terrell Owens. We may not say that about Antonio Brown. Neither of those guys won a Super Bowl. None of these guys that I just said have won a Super Bowl, but they handled their time. Oh, and the Steelers just recovered a fumble. That's the 5th turnover of the game.
Is that all?
That is the 5th turnover of the game by the freaking 49ers. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. That just caught me off.
And you're only up by 3.
And we're only up by 3. That really shows that the
You
Steelers
guys
are not a
are
good team
bad.
right now.
But then again, well, okay,
Last
keep going.
thoughts
going.
on Antonio Brown. Thank fucking God you're gone, because I was tired of hearing about the helmet business,
Yeah.
and now he's not a Nike athlete anymore.
Right.
Nike's not sponsoring him. Zenith isn't sponsoring him anymore.
You know,
he's losing everybody, and he blames everybody else but himself.
You know,
and
was
I'm
just-
glad to see that gone finally.
I was just thinking about this. You know, you get to the point where all this Twitter nonsense, and I'm blaming it. It gets to the point where it's just like, dude, just shut up. Just stop
Right,
talking.
right.
I'm tired
It's just
of hearing
better.
about it.
What do they say?
Just
What's that
stop.
old saying? Don't go away mad, just go away.
Yeah, just
You
go,
know,
just go
just
away.
shut your hole and go
do
away.
your life.
And
Like,
it's
if you're
what-
mad, you're mad. Just at this point, it's just sad.
And it's what John Gruden and Randy Moss said. There has got to be a time in your life where you have got to shut your mouth and just play football, man. You got to stop this. And even John Gruden said it. Stop the bullshit and just play football, man.
It's just you
Yeah.
have
That's
the
what
best-
people
you
want to
have-
see.
you
That's
get-
all people want to see is just you playing football for their organization.
Because you get paid millions of dollars to play a game. A game. A freaking game. You get paid millions. You can set yourself up for the rest of your life for just playing a game, and you can't do it.
I hope he ends up in the XFL in something WWE style. Freaking
They can't pay him enough.
RKO just comes out and freaking flattens him on the field. I don't know. It might happen. Randy Orton might come out of nowhere, or Vince McMahon might come out of nowhere.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Oh, my God. All right. Speaking of NFL talk, we're going to talk about week 3 of NFL action here. Since, like I said, every single week, the only time that we have to do this podcast is late is during the evening shift of the NFL games. So it's the only time that we have to do it. And as the Steelers just turned the ball over, they just fumbled the ball.
Steelers did?
Yeah, the Steelers
we're
just
on the wrong
fumbled the
channel
ball.
on this other TV.
We got red zone.
Yeah, it's red zone on this TV, and the Steelers are on the other
Gotcha,
one, and they just fumbled
gotcha.
the ball. So that's great. And right now, there's a lot of big questions in the NFL, especially. Oh, that ball's out too. There's a lot of big questions in the NFL, and the first team I want to talk about, we're going to go with the Thursday night game. What the fuck is up with the Titans? What is
Yeah,
up
I
with
don't
this
get 'em.
team,
I
man?
don't get 'em.
Straight and to the
It's
point.
streaky.
Okay.
I don't get it. You hammer the Cleveland Browns. You absolutely demolish them. You make Baker Mayfield throw with 3 interceptions. You put him into the dirt, and you do everything right that game. In the past 2 weeks, you lose to Indy, who lost their all-pro quarterback / Hall of Fame quarterback in Andrew Luck. If he would have stayed in the NFL, you lost him. And then you lose to Jacksonville, who's got Uncle Rico from freaking Napoleon Dynamite as their quarterback, Gardner Minshew. You lose to them. Now, I'm not saying Gardner Minshew's bad, but I'm just saying it's pretty pathetic, honestly, from Tennessee with the way they've been playing these past couple of weeks. And you even said it best, Pat. They're inconsistent always.
Yeah.
They just are.
They've never been consistent for the past, I don't know, handful of years.
What do you think it comes down to their coaching? Like, Mike Vrabel, I think, is a very good coach. I really do.
I don't know.
He brings that toughness type of mentality to your team that you want to have. Not soft, go out there and just play football, Antonio Brown, if you're listening.
Defensively, they're studs. The Tennessee Titans have a great defense, but I think where their struggles come on the offensive side of the ball. And this is your second offensive coordinator.
Well,
now
yeah, Matt
again,
LaFleur
but
is
we're
gone.
only and they even had struggles then. So if you have struggles with 2 different coordinators, the first thing you got to look at is your quarterback.
Okay, well, do you see Ryan
And what's
Tannehill now
around
coming
him.
in?
I'm not saying Tannehill.
Because he's the backup. You never know. He could Mariota may get benched for him.
I don't think
never
Mariota's
know.
in trouble of getting benched. I'm thinking he's in trouble of finding something else.
Who?
Something else that works. Maybe going to the draft. That could be a possibility. I mean, how many 9-7 seasons can you have?
Yeah,
Or how
exactly.
many average seasons can you have when you have a good defense finally, you have a solid head coach, and you're still inconsistent? To me, trying to figure them out is confusing. It's
Well, what do we think about the Jaguars though? Because
They're
Jalen
no
Ramsey,
different.
well,
They're
Jalen
no
Ramsey is
different.
also having questionable doubts about being with the team right now.
but that's what I'm saying is that
Yeah,
they're as inconsistent as the
I
freaking
hate all
Titans.
that. I hate all that. I don't like my situation, so I want out kind of shit. Just shut up. You're paid an enormous sum of money to play the game of football. Just shut up and play through your contract. Do what you put your name on the piece of paper to do. Enough of this nonsense where we just freaking kowtow to the whims of the athlete and just allow them to make these quick decisions just because they were like Minka Fitzpatrick, for example. He's with Pittsburgh now. But one of the reasons why he didn't like it is because his coach put him in difficult positions and he was playing out of position in as many as 4 different roles in the secondary and stuff, and he didn't feel like he was being good at any of it. Well, how about you freaking just shut your hole and just play the game. Just do what you've been contracted to do. It's like this whole other generation of people are like, well, if I don't like it, I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Tate Martell, for
Yeah.
an example.
And so I don't know. Just stuff like that makes me mad.
Yeah, of course. That was the theme of this week, is just seeing how maddening a lot of these games were.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next game, which was Philly versus Detroit.
Yikes.
Okay, Detroit. This game really shows how bad Detroit is as a team, and how they were able to beat Philly because Philly made
Beat
themselves
themselves.
look bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, how many clutch passes were dropped? Clutch
seven,
balls.
seven, passes.
7 different balls were dropped. We had 2 offensive fumbles.
You had,
and a
basically-
special teams touchdown.
You basically had a game-winning touchdown by Goddard dropped.
So
Oh yeah.
So that's another one. So
It's on It's unreal because also Matt Stafford in the offense gave you the ball back so many times. The blocked field goal at the end of the game. How do you fucking lose that from the 50-yard line? All you had to do is kick a field goal.
We had to get 15 yards and we couldn't do it.
Where the hell was Darren Sproles? Where was Darren Sproles the entirety of the game up until like 3 minutes left in the game?
Interference right before the end.
Yep.
A costly penalty. You're right. But what I'm saying is why he was never on the field. It's like Matt Nagy only having Tariq Cohen on the field. Put somebody else on the field.
So the Eagles won the total yards battle. We won the penalty battle.
You probably didn't win the turnover battle.
And we won the time of possession. But
no sacks, I think, remember.
We lost turnovers.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but this Oktoberfest, it's kind of on the light side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a lot of flavor to it.
There's not a lot of, there's no bite, no real bite or anything. It's very, very, I wonder what it would be like if you had it in an ice cold glass, if it would, kind of sharpen up or whatever like that. It's not bad. Don't tell me, I'm not telling you it's bad in any way, shape, or form, but it's a very light Oktoberfest beer. And, I'm thinking maybe a Vienna style lager might have a little bit more of a bite to it, but it doesn't. And I really like this. And this is the seasonal time. The seasonal beers start coming around. So
went to the Better Beer Store just looking for whatever.
A great place.
Just looking for whatever, and I saw the Oktoberfest first, and I looked around the corner, and I saw my darling, the porter, and I'm like, I can't get away from
I asked the guy down there why they didn't get Port City Porter. I'm like, I don't know why you guys don't have that. It's probably the best of all the porters that he has. He goes, oh, I don't know. And I was like, you got to get it because it's phenomenal beer. And he goes, well, we'll look into it.
At the Better Beer Store, they found it right
there.
Winchester,
Winchester, Virginia has the Better Beer Store. And I'll tell you what, that place does a great job. Their knowledge of beers and things like that. I hate to knock them about the price of things. And beer can be a little expensive and things like that. But the variety and the choices you have and their expertise in the beer is unparalleled. So, you know what? You got to do it. You got to do it. If you want good beer, you're going to pay for it, period.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
But I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, we're still on Philly versus Detroit.
that's about it.
Yeah.
You win. Detroit killed themselves with turnovers.
I looked at it like,
my fault.
I told you so. I looked at the Eagles and I told you so. They just can't seem to turn it up to the next level. They're right there. They're right on the cusp of being a really, really good football team. And for whatever reason, they can't get over that good team hump. And
bullet to the foot.
Yeah,
you can't get over the hump with one injured foot.
There was an old saying. There's been an old saying in sports: you can't run if you've been shot in the foot. You keep shooting yourself in the foot, you're never going to run.
Yeah.
And so, I want to look at them, and I want to look at them as a told you so team. There are a couple of I told you so's, and another one is freaking Atlanta.
I didn't think that they were for real, even if they did beat Philly.
But you're only 3 years removed from the Super Bowl, or 4 years removed from the Super Bowl.
But they haven't done anything significant.
Nothing since then. Like they have the potential to be a good team, but they can't get over that good team hump, and that's just
the year after the Super Bowl, they go what? They go to the divisional round and lose to the eventual Super Bowl champs. The following year, they get the injury bug and can't get out of their own damn way. And now
couldn't do anything.
And now that they're finally healthy, they are still disappointing.
Yeah.
They are still disappointing when healthy.
My college roommates were Eagles fans, and they were the worst. 1 week, they're sizing them up for rings. They're ready to go. And the next week, I'm never watching another damn Philadelphia Eagles game as long as I live. Then them son of bitches still be sitting there right in the living room.
But it's frustrating, especially how we try to analyze the game. Yeah. Like when we sit down and watch the game, we look at it.
I don't just yell at the ref and say you cost us the game.
But we look at it from an analytical or from a coaching perspective.
Right.
So when you look at a game like that and you see so many things that even at a high school level you tell your kids
this is what we have to do.
It's the same thing. Right. And it kills even professionals. And it's still frustrating.
And that's the thing that gets me is the mistakes that are made. And it's things that we harp on with high school kids. That just completely aggravates.
You got to be mentally tough with penalties.
I don't know when I take a look and I sit back and I hear you talk about this. I don't know if it's a damn it say it ain't so situation with Philadelphia or it is I told you so kind of thing.
It's not a damn it. It's
damn it.
I told you so for me was Any other points on Philly?
Nah.
Real
I
quick.
think
Move on.
don't count them out yet.
No,
We're
no,
still
no.
coming back from injury.
It's early in
We're
the
still trying to
season.
find the pieces to put
You
it
guys
together.
didn't have Deshaun or Alshon today as your deep threats today on your wide receiver core.
I would say don't count us out yet, but if we get healthy, just watch out. I'm telling you right now, if we're healthy, just watch out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, they got to get over that good team hump, and then it won't be an I told you so.
Okay, well, my I told you so is the Ravens can shut their ass until they play a real team.
That was my told you so, number 3 right there.
You can shut your ass because what happened today is Pat Mahomes happened today.
Yeah.
And he happens every day, it
370 some yards, freaking 3 touchdowns. He
Off
probably
day.
threw
Off day.
one with one eye open and the other one behind his back and stupid stuff
And
like
you can't
that.
stop him.
But I was looking at like first half stats, and I think freaking Lamar had in first half stats had like 75 yards
49ers
passing.
just scored a touchdown.
And he was what? I think at one point I was sitting down and I was talking to CJ, and I think he was 8 of 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, and the Chiefs' defense is atrocious.
Yeah,
and that's what you're going.
My whole comment was brought back to reality. The Chiefs are fantastic on offense. They are not fantastic on defense, and they shut down the
not
Ravens.
by
And that
any
was the
means.
Achilles heel that stopped them
Right.
from going and possibly winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
my big ones for the week are freaking Buffalo Bills.
How about
go
the
Bills,
Bills?
baby, 3-0.
3-0, and also your defense
They were
is
down-
basically unstoppable.
They
right
were down
now.
21-17, and then and found a way to win.
But
And that's to me is freaking the mark of a great team.
Oh, they
they're
had
great
the makings
defensively.
last year. You go 7-9.
The
Josh
Patriots
Allen
got the
starts
Bills
coming
next
into
week.
his own, and now
Oh.
Josh Allen is the real deal. Hey, Josh Allen. There are 2 quarterbacks in the NFL who have the most rushing yards as a quarterback, and it's Lamar and Josh Allen. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. And no one talks about the Bills. Yeah. Now, of course, they did beat the Bengals, who are looking like
The Bungles.
Their normal self. Yeah, the
okay,
Bungles.
so
0-3.
let me throw this out there. So listen, so the Bengals are 0-3. 2 of those games have been damn near down to the wire, and they have no talent. They have an old quarterback that has never been very good.
If the 49ers pull this off while Pittsburgh has caused 5 turnovers, I really have to give up on the season then.
Right, I don't know what the stats are for -5 and
It's probably like
-4. There are
99.999,
no
but I feel
wins
like you shouldn't win.
by any team. It is like you should not win.
No.
That is almost like a death warrant.
Wow, look at the Giants back in here. The Giants are freaking back.
Come on, Bucks. Don't let Daniel Jones. Don't let him have his hoorah. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it to you. Pick him off. Pick him off.
Oh, he's going to
No,
score.
he's gonna score. Daniel Jones is
He's
gonna
gonna
lead.
walk in and he's going to freaking...
Oh my God! Eli gets benched in the
Do you
freaking Giants.
You think
turn it
Eli's
around.
happy right now for Daniel
Shit.
Jones? Or has he got that I smell butthole look on his face?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, he's got.
No,
a little bit of
he's smiling with his
No.
little ball cap over there.
Somebody pinched him.
Now they just need an extra point to take the lead here.
Yeah.
But back
But
to
okay, so like what? Before we get sidetracked, because we're nerds about football. Anyway, so the Bengals are 0-3 again. And 2 of their losses, they had a close one, and they hung in there for a decent while with San Francisco, but eventually, got shafted. They have no talent, and they're hanging around. I like the head coach that they have, but they don't have anybody. So if you're a Bengals fan, I mean, you got to look at a positive. It's you have a pretty decent head coach that has nobody to help him.
Right.
Zilch. So that's a team, I think, in the next couple years, when they find a decent quarterback, because there are a decent amount coming out that are going to be, or supposed to be pretty damn good.
Right.
And I don't know, if you find a guy that can match with Zach Taylor, I think his name
Yeah,
is.
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Sean McVay coaching tree.
I think if he finds the quarterback that he wants, that he can build his system around, I think the Bengals should be good coming up.
I don't see why not. I mean, they're right there.
They're right there.
But my other team is, goddamn Colts.
You know,
The
I
Indianapolis
really
Colts.
think that they just want to go out there and prove.
Well, they're
something.
Do they play good defense, you think? You think they play good defense? I mean, like today's score, they beat the Falcons 27-24. Now, granted, the Falcons are not where they're not absolutely not where they want to be.
About 400 yards of total offense of the Atlanta. Atlanta had 397.
Yeah, I mean, still.
And you had a good quarterback along with Julio freaking Jones.
Yeah, Julio
Calvin
Jones,
Ridley.
man. I'll tell you what, Julio Jones,
Mohamed
is a man.
Sanu.
There's nothing need to be said about him. Like that it's just mandatory that he is going to be a god. Okay,
He's a man. What a phenomenal freaking.
you
guy.
don't hear him bitching.
You never
don't
hear him
bitching.
open his mouth.
And he
Don't
got
have
his
to.
money
Ever.
And he
Doesn't
got
have
his
to.
money.
Doesn't have to.
Ever.
Yeah, I really like him. I like that a lot.
Oh, damn it.
But those were my two biggest ones. You know, the old Buffalo Bills. I just couldn't get enough of that. And you know, they're gonna freaking go into the Patriots or I think it's in Buffalo this week. That was one of my games. Patriots at Bills.
You know,
And
I'm not
looking
expecting
upsets for next week. It wouldn't put it past me if Buffalo played good enough defense to keep that game close and
Very
just
true.
maybe
what
have a
Buffalo
shot
does
at it.
fantastically is pressure. And if there is one thing that Tom Brady hates more than anything,
What are
it
you
is
talking about?
pressure.
He's the best athlete in football. Shut up, CJ.
1,000 rushing
Don't
yards.
you ever
What
talk
up?
about God
Don't,
like that.
don't you
Up.
talk about
Don't
1,000
you dare.
yard-
All those
1,000
QB sneaks, it
thou-
fucking adds up. All
1,000
right?
yard rusher.
Yeah, I would absolutely see that
I
next
could see
week.
that happening. Absolutely.
Buffalo is unreal right now, and they're playing against good top-tier teams, I feel, as well.
Well, here's the thing about Buffalo is that even though they've gotten behind twice now, in back-to-back weeks, they've fallen behind and then found a way to win. And that's huge. When your team can find a way to win, you have something special going on.
And
You have something special going on.
especially in the NFL, you know, the best teams that come through
No!
don't win. You know,
I'm sorry. I yelled out. Mason Rudolph just said he threw freaking Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer across the middle of the field.
It's
5
over, huh?
turnovers and you win. Jesus.
Can we go ahead and talk about the game then? Like, I just want to talk about the Steelers in general. I've been a Steelers fan for a long time, and it sucks to see this. It does. But at the end of the day, I can't change any outcome. I can't change the game whatsoever.
Right.
It fucking sucks. But the thing is that you have to look at the positives and say, look, this is going to be a rebuilding year, whether we
Sure,
like it or not.
sure.
And we will not compete for a Super Bowl.
But
and
here's-
that is okay. You fucking stirring the pot. Fire Tomlin. I'm an idiot. Get rid of our head coach.
Well-
instead of firing the coordinators
Well-
type of deal. Because I think that's
Well,
the
that
issue.
may very well happen before the end of the
I
year.
really do think that's an issue. I hate how during this game we caused 5 turnovers.
Come on, Jameis.
And
throw it to
nobody-
the other team.
Oh my
Oh my
God,
goodness! Yes! How in the world does Mike Evans get that? He's the one guy for the Bucks that you must cover. How?
Let's go.
Why do you need
Fuck
to spike
you,
it? You have a
Giants.
time. You have a timeout.
Okay. Listen. Okay.
You don't have
Hold on.
to.
Okay. Well, CJ, so
Watch him shank
Yeah,
it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
so to all you Steeler fans and CJ,
The only reason I
on
want the
behalf
Giants-
of a Bears fan
And an Eagles fan,
welcome
welcome
to a
to the
rebuild.
fucking
because
club.
you guys haven't
Well,
gone
you
through a
know what?
rebuild.
and
in
I don't care.
It's okay.
I'm glad for it.
It's okay.
It has to happen.
All right. Well, I'm going to say something. It's
Just
not a knock.
welcome.
It's not a knock, and it's not to tease you or anything like that. But the sign of a true fan is going through all the thick and thin. It just is.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's going through shit
when-
and going. Yeah,
You know, when
I'm an
Pitt-
Eagles fan, or yeah, I'm a Bears fan.
Fucking
and being like,
Patriots cheap, man.
when the Bears go 4-12 or 3-13, I've been there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't stop freaking cheering for them.
Went
well,
through
you know
Chip
what?
Kelly.
You know, Pittsburgh
We-
may be lucky to be 3-13 this year.
Oh,
Well, we'll
man.
see how you feel about it. We'll see how their fans truly fear. You know, they're
Oh, well, they'll-
they're fair weather fans, and their Pittsburgh dad can go lick nuts. But
Exactly.
you
Just
know
when
what?
was the last time that they were bad? Like generally, like bad.
Right.
And it's been a long time,
It's
but
been
that's
a very
okay.
long time.
I've played for teams that have won one game before. I've also been a part of a university that has had heartbreaking moments.
Yeah,
I've been losing in the national championship.
As a coach, I've been from everywhere, from no wins all the way to no losses. I've been in everything in between.
And you still get to lay your head on your pillow every single night and say,
the
"It's
sun will come up.
okay.
It's okay.
The sun will come up tomorrow."
If you want to burn that $150 jersey of yours, saying, "Oh, go ahead, you're a fucking idiot because you just burned a $150 jersey."
So I'm going to take a timeout. So the Bucks are lining up for a game-winning field goal.
With 4 seconds left in the game.
And
They're going to shank it. They're going to shank it.
He's 4-4 today. Watch him shank it. I hope not.
Oh, my
No,
God. I hope
why?
they shank
It's
it.
the Giants. Fuck
So
the Giants.
This is
I
a
only
troll, though.
It's only because I want to see freaking. I wanted to see.
So you got Crab Stealer and
Daniel
Ass
Jones?
Sniffer.
Daniel
That's
Jones.
who you guys are playing with.
I wanted to see him get a win. Not that I.
All right, Mr. Asshole over there.
I don't like. It's not like I hate Eli. I just dislike the look
you,
on his face.
You like the dubs,
He's
dude.
going to be eating W's.
Come on
right
now, shank it.
Don't shank it.
Shank it.
Look at those yellow shoes.
Yeah, he's
the
the
hell?
center of attention, all right.
Do some jumping jacks 55. Go ahead. Do it.
Vault. He missed it.
He
shanked it!
He
missed it! He missed it!
He
He pushed
shanked
it! He
Daniel
pushed it.
Jones gets his first
He
win.
pushed it wide
He's a
right.
freak-
He shanked
You
it.
have got
pushed
to
it.
be kidding me. This has happened again.
He
Look at
shanked
Eli.
it.
My uniform didn't get dirty.
What in the world is
Hey,
going
you know what?
on?
I feel
What
good.
in the wide
I feel
world of
good for-
sports is going
I feel
on
good
here?
for two people right now. Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. That's it. The rest of the team can go lick nuts. I don't care. But Saquon Barkley is a tremendous, tremendous athlete and an even better person. And Daniel Jones deserved to get the monkey off his back because everybody's been pointing the finger, and he freaking plays for a team in the worst city that you could possibly have to deal with pressure, and that's New York City. So, good for him.
And let's go over. Let's do two more games since we're running. We're doing very good here. What the fuck? The Saints are absolutely hammering the Seahawks after you lose your starting quarterback right now. The game is going to be over.
Is it Teddy Bridgewater?
It's Teddy Bridgewater who's playing, or it's Taysom Hill. You know,
Is he
Sean
lighting it
Payton's
up?
boyfriend.
Is he lighting
it's
it up?
Ted.
So he's 19 of 27, 177 yards and
So
two TDs.
there's nothing there. There's no flair.
There's no
100
flair.
But
Less
still,
than 200 yards passing.
but
Now,
after you
Kamara,
lose your Hall of
that's-
Fame quarterback,
That's freaking but freaking Drew Brees freaking throw for 200 yards in a quarter.
but what I'm saying is that you're putting up
Yeah.
33 points
Well,
against a defense
You know what
that
you try
is
to
pretty
do.
good.
I've been in this situation we're experiencing right now, where you take your starter out and you have a backup come in, and you want to be consistent and you try to have some consistency and some success. And hey, if 177 yards and 2 touchdowns helps the freaking Saints, win, well then that's what Sean Payton's going to go with.
I mean, we're dealing that right now. You know, from a high school perspective, our starting quarterback that we've worked with all offseason started 2 games for us, went down with an injury.
Yeah,
and
second
so we've
game
had
of the season, broke his foot, out 4 to 8 weeks.
And so
You know?
yeah, and so we go with a little
I'm out 2
skinny,
days to 6 months right
skinny,
now. On beer
scrawny,
hangover.
you know.
Huh?
I'm out 2 days to 6 months on beer hangover. I don't know when I'll recover.
But so we throw in this sophomore against a 7-time state champ in the last 8 years, and we throw him out there and say, "Hey, good luck."
And he did fantastic.
And he did
so-
fantastic.
So,
So-
good things happen to those people that prepare. I don't believe in luck. It's when
But-
opportunity meets preparation, and that's when things become successful.
But this
And-
is kind of like what you just brought up. So Teddy Bridgewater's stat line is not flashy, but
Yeah,
they're
because
they're
he-
winning
he-
by 2 scores.
Yeah,
it's
he
the
had
same
an
thing
ugly,
that we talked
ugly
about.
injury, and it's because that he's 100% healthy now. And so he's getting an opportunity, and he's being consistent. And when you're consistent in the NFL, good things happen. Period.
Yeah.
Jeez, Coach, how many beers is that for you right now?
14, I think, right now.
14? Wow.
So, but it's the same thing.
I had
we just
two.
talked about
Lightweight
that. But if you look
I
at
had
the
half
stat
a
line of
quarter,
that
and I've
sophomore,
had 2 Oktoberfest.
Okay. No, I was
What are
just
you,
asking.
my mom?
No, I'm just the
She's
moderator.
82.
What are you at?
Your-
You haven't. Yeah.
Your grandmother's
bitch,
82
little-
years old. Sorry, you don't. You snap the nipple on that bottle
All right,
over there.
let's talk about
Shut
one
your
more
ass,
game.
and don't talk about my shit then.
Let's
I got
talk
one
about-
game,
Okay.
and it
No
probably
one cares.
Carolina and Arizona.
Okay, but like, yeah, Cam Newton doesn't play.
So you had so many questions about Cam Newton, and this quarterback, Kyle Allen, goes out there and throws for 4 touchdowns. And
The Chargers just converted a 4th and 13, man,
Yeah.
to stay alive. Sorry, Patrick.
but
Oh, offsides, free play.
how many questions do you have? But
Free
then
play.
you have a quarterback.
Picked him.
But
That's
how
coming
many-
back anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All right, go ahead.
But so the Carolina Panthers have had virtually 0 offense the first 2 weeks, and then they go out and put 38 on
Do
a
you
struggling
have a-
Arizona. However, but
Do
it's
you have a total offense on them?
Total offense?
Yeah. See if there's anything.
I know
stat on
McCaffrey had a great game.
the- Yeah.
413
Wow,
yards.
400 plus yards of offense in the NFL is a big day.
Oh yeah.
Great day.
And so you're telling me that you have a quarterback that throws for 4 touchdowns, and now you can't tell me that you can be consistent doing that, but it shows promise.
Another.
But then you have McCaffrey run for 153 yards
Well,
on the ground.
that brings me to this one. It's the
You
Vikings.
talking to the mic, Patrick?
Is the Vikings.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The damn Vikings. Dalvin Cook rushes for 110 yards, and then you look.
Oh,
at,
he looks phenomenal
you look
right
at
now.
how good of a running back is he?
He is looking. And besides,
He's worth the
even
wait.
even when they lost to friggin' Green Bay,
Right,
he was still killing it.
He's such a threat at any time to just break it open and house it.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins isn't lighting the world on fire,
Never
but they
has.
they put 34 points on the Raiders, and the Raiders are they're a team in transition too. They're a good team,
But
trying
defensively,
to get over
they've been very good. So
Yeah.
if you put 35 on a team like that,
Right.
that's been
right. That's
hanging
what
on
I'm
that
saying.
defense.
I don't know what to put. I don't know how to treat the Vikings myself, but
Okay, well,
interesting shit.
okay, real quick, let's talk about next week. Who you got for an upset next week?
Ooh, hold on. Let me bring up the games.
I got 5 potential games here that are problematic. The first is the Packers and Eagles. I think that's a toss-up. The Packers defense is doing a pretty decent job, and you never know who's going to show up in Aaron Rodgers. He could throw the lights out of the ball out of the stadium, and the next thing you know, freaking Philadelphia loses by 3 touchdowns.
But so far, right now, we're set to get Alshon Jeffrey back and Deshaun Jackson back for that Thursday night
Well,
game.
yeah. I mean, injuries play a huge part. The other one's the Patriots and the Bills. That's a little tricky, I'm not sure about that. The Lions. Such a
I just
streaky
found
team.
that.
Is that freaking Chiefs and Lions? I think the Chiefs are too good. But the Lions just find a way to
They're
to
scrappy.
hang around. They
They're
find a way to
scrappy.
hang around.
They're very, very
My,
scrappy.
my one upset of the week.
I know what
my
it
one
is. Can I guess
Is
it?
yeah, go ahead.
Browns Ravens.
No, that is not the upset.
I got my other one then.
Okay, go ahead.
Bears Vikings.
I don't call that an upset. I call that an easy victory for the Bears.
Oh.
The Vikings aren't that dominant when it comes to defense.
Well, the Bears
really.
are struggling offensively, so
I
I
know.
just
He's just gonna chuck up a prayer and he's gonna.
Drop
he dropped it.
He
Okay.
dropped it.
My upset
I'm
is
getting Eagle flashbacks.
the Sunday night game. You're in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome,
Give me
and
some.
I don't
Yes.
care
Yes.
if you are
Yes.
3-0. It is the hardest environment next to Arrowhead Stadium to win on a primetime game against the New Orleans Saints. And I think that the New Orleans Saints, even when Drew Brees gone,
Is he going to have surgery, by the way?
he already
Yes,
did.
he already
has.
He
did.
already did.
Okay.
Even with Drew Brees gone, that crowd is going to be electric, especially against Dallas. And I think New Orleans pulls it off against them.
Interesting call. I'd like to see that happen. I'm unsure about Dallas. I'm not really sure about. They having Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott and their passing game.
But like I said, it's hard to win in that dome because that defense can
they're
be
both
great.
Yeah,
So
but they
my
both
thing
play in
is
big.
that-
They have both big time arenas. They between AT&T Stadium.
So my
there.
thing is that they haven't been tested.
Who Dallas?
Dallas has not been tested.
They've played Miami, Tampa Bay, and New
Giants.
York. Okay? Come the fuck on, man.
So not
Come
only
on, man.
schematically,
Come on, man.
So not only schematically are you going to be challenged, but you're going to go into an environment that's very hostile, And if you can come out and show that you're a force, then I'll believe the hype.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I don't see that happening against New Orleans.
Which it
I
could
don't.
be. So I
Phillip
like that
Rivers
one.
getting dumped on his head.
Oh
there.
no, he may have just
I
lost a
like-
few kids in his
I
junk
like-
right there. Oh no,
He's
please
already
stop
got 9
it.
at home.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, I can't get you 13.
So those are my possible. I would like. I don't know why I want to see this, but I would like to see the Browns take down the Ravens.
I
too.
would love to see that.
I would like that too.
I would love to see that happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen
You
because
don't
it's
think
at
so?
M&T Bank Stadium.
I got two.
Yeah, I think the Ravens run game and
I got
Lamar's
two.
probably a little bit good.
So I like the Raiders over the Colts, and I like Carolina over Houston.
Oh, I'm down. Hey, I don't have a problem with
I got
any of
those
those.
two.
Those are all.
Yeah, I don't.
To me, those are toss-ups. Those are hard freaking games to pick.
I like the Raiders, and they're both away teams. So I like Oakland on the road against Indianapolis, and I like Carolina on the road versus Houston.
My number one's Packers Eagles. I think that's a
My
gonna
number
be a
one
good-
is Saints Cowboys because I
Yeah,
think the Saints can do it.
Both good.
That's good.
All right.
Those are tough. The ones you had, Patrick. Those are tough ass
Fit.
picks. I would not want to bet money on those games.
All right, that's week 3 of NFL action. We're on to week 4 of college football.
Uh-oh.
And oh my God, thank God that this week of games was so much better because last week was absolutely putrid. And you had so many upsets in that. Well, if you want to call it upsets, Michigan looked absolutely terrible against Wisconsin. Jonathan Taylor, man, it's really hard for a running back to win the Heisman, even though Derrick Henry did it. It's
Derrick
very
Henry's a
hard.
man.
But Jonathan Taylor is a
mutant.
man too.
Yeah.
Because that was what people were telling me. It's like, I don't know, Michigan's defense
Yeah, but
shut
Clemson
down
played
Army
Charlotte.
pretty easily. Clemson played Charlotte? Man.
Nail biter, baby.
Man, so was Ohio State only allowing 5 points to freaking Miami of Ohio.
Oh, my
76-5. What the fuck?
But I will say, so Auburn over Texas A&M, that's a big win for Auburn, though.
Yeah,
On
I
the
think it
road against
establishes
A&M.
them. I think it establishes them as a you
Yeah,
know.
Bo Nix, no question. But I was saying that this week was a week where can you find your footing and where do you belong in this
I think
state
Georgia's
of
a
college
legitimate
football?
contender.
Oh yes, Notre Dame also
Notre
is
Dame
too.
showed promise,
I really
too.
do think so.
Yeah.
You only
Well, they
give up
can't-
13 points.
They're not going to be there just simply because they got one loss. And
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
see
exactly.
Clemson.
But Alabama will get in with one loss. You know, that.
Well, I don't see anybody beating Alabama. Their next 3 games are Ole Miss, Tennessee, Arkansas. I don't see them.
What? What?
Yeah.
Those are their 3 next games?
Yeah.
Nail biter.
Those are 3 of the worst teams in FBS football, Power 5.
Yeah.
Arkansas
LSU
has got to
a-
be the
LSU
worst
has a
next
bye
to
week.
Vanderbilt.
Georgia held Notre Dame to less than 50 yards rushing. You cannot freaking win a national championship rushing the ball only for 50 yards. You can't for less than 50 yards. And until you can prove that you can hang with Clemson,
Oh,
until
yeah.
you can prove that you can hang
Like
with
I
them.
said, this week was can you find your footing and where do you belong? Because what the fuck, Utah? You crap the bed against USC after you look like the best team in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
You look like the team that could easily take it. The only other team that you had to worry about was probably Washington State or Washington. And Washington State lost to freaking UCLA.
Yeah,
They gave up
that's-
63 points.
67
and still
points.
won.
67.
No, I'm saying
How
Washington.
does Washington State score 63 points and,
And
lose?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, man. What is this?
That is the shit list so far.
Their
It's-
quarterback, Washington State's quarterback, threw 9 touchdowns. He threw 9 touchdowns and lost.
I only have one more finger.
And that
than
was in
that.
And
regulation. There was no
lost.
overtime either, right? That was regulation.
Yep.
And UCLA was down 32
Yes,
points in the
they
third.
came back.
In
that
the
happened
third
with
quarter.
Josh Rosen a couple years ago when they
No
beat
one
Texas
cares about
A&M.
him. No one cares about him.
All right,
He
fuck
got
it. Go fuck myself.
570 yards, 9 TDs, and you fucking lose.
Yeah.
Just-
The fighting Mike Leaches.
Oh my god!
Another big one. UCF loses to the Philly Special against Pittsburgh.
That was a piss poor Philly special. We all
Okay,
know
but
this.
they won 27 regular season games in a row.
Yeah.
And they lose to Pittsburgh.
They lose to Pitt,
Yeah.
who should have beaten Penn State.
You want to
but
compete for a national
suck.
championship and claim yourselves as national champions when you lose to fucking Pittsburgh. Come on, man. The NFL team's just as bad. Sorry.
My upset picks from last week did not come through.
No.
My upset.
What were the upsets that you had?
My
again?
upset was. I'm look back here on my sheet. Was. Where's it at?
Yep.
I wrote it down. Shit.
Is that
Do,
that's
do,
it.
Yeah, I'm
do,
sorry.
do,
I'm sorry. I'm
do,
sorry. I'm
do,
sorry. I'm
do.
sorry.
That's
I'm
the
looking.
script.
Do.
Michigan and Wisconsin, Notre Dame at Georgia. I
You
said
think Michigan would have?
my Oklahoma State over Texas.
That
It
was
was a
close.
really good game, but
was close.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
Mike Gundy could not pull it off.
The fighting Mike Gundys couldn't get it done. Yeah, so
Mullets.
and I did call Utah. Should have freaking wiped the field with freaking USC
Because they got
and-
walloped by BYU.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, they didn't. Well, they
No, they
got
didn't.
You're
beat
down
by
to a
BYU.
third-string quarterback at USC, and you still lose.
Notre Dame Georgia was my big pick of the week, but I thought Georgia was going to blow out Notre Dame.
I don't have any doubt about that. As I said, like Texas.
I think I kept my
they're-
script from last week.
Texas is a strange team to me, man. Because
And then the other game, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. The
Yeah,
other
go
one,
ahead.
it's right here on the side, is Auburn, Texas A&M, and Auburn got the job done. So
my other team that really let me down was Arizona State. They go to Michigan State, and they beat them 10-7.
Yeah.
And they lose to Colorado. They
Colorado.
lose to Colorado, man.
At home.
Broken Condom State lost to Colorado. What in the world?
Yeah, and they got another tough ball game coming up here. Another winnable game from Arizona State.
Tom Herman.
What?
Yeah.
It's not Tom Herman.
Yeah,
No, the coach of
Something Herman.
Huh?
Isn't it?
Herm
the
Edwards.
coach Herm
Herm-
Edwards.
I was half
Tom
right.
Herman is the Texas head coach.
I was 50% right. God.
You were 50%. Shut up, okay?
I was 50. Shut your face.
And but like the game,
I was
the
50% right. Fuck
The
you.
game I was really just seriously happy to see was Michigan get their ass beat because
Yeah.
I think Michigan is overrated.
I wish I could have watched it, but people need their fucking chicken. And
I really think that Michigan is overrated because they get ranked every single year, and for the past 4 years they haven't done anything.
nope.
They haven't. Even with Jim Harbaugh, what is Jim Harbaugh brought there to do? To take him to the next level and take him to a next.
Khakis.
What is Jake from State Farm? What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Jim Harbaugh might be Jay
Khakis.
from State Farm.
And you're supposed to take him to the next step, which is technically the national championship, and also beat the Ohio State University.
So Houston just finished off.
Arizona State
The Chargers.
rolls up number 15 Cal this week.
Oh, Cal's
That's
got
right. Cal's
Cal has one of the
undefeated.
best defenses in the country right now.
Well, Arizona State's going to get the fighting Herms are going to find out.
It's going to be a good Friday because Penn State has to roll into Maryland too.
Oh, I
Yep.
did get that. That's number 1 on my list right there. Number 12, Penn
Can
State
Maryland,
at Maryland.
redeem themselves?
Which Maryland team is going to show
Exactly.
up?
Nope.
It's going to be at
I
Maryland.
got Penn
Are
State.
they
I
going
got
to have
Penn
the
State
British
rolling in.
Army, the true Lord Baltimore's fighting for them, or are they just going to go out there and lay an egg?
They're going to lay an
Like
egg.
most Maryland football teams.
I got them laying an egg. I like Penn
Maryland.
State.
You know what?
Well,
I like
who do
Penn
you,
State.
Who do you
Okay.
got for a lock next week? I got Oklahoma. Like they're playing
I got
Texas Tech, man.
I
They're
got
playing-
Wisconsin over
You got that's
Northwestern.
your lead pipe lock.
Yeah, that's my lead pipe lock. There's no fucking way they're losing to Texas Tech.
Well,
man.
I'm telling you this: the lead pipe lock has got to be Utah over Washington State. I'm telling you what: if Utah loses to Washington State, something's wrong.
I have Ohio State over Nebraska
I have
lock.
that. That was my number 4 pick.
as a lock.
Number
This-
4 pick. And then the other one I have, and I don't want to say it because I want them to be successful. I went to, I've gone to many of spring practices. I think that Bronco Mendenhall is a phenomenal coach. He's
At
a great
UVA?
leader. He's a great guy. And Notre Dame rolls into UVA. So, you got number 10.
No, UVA goes to Notre
or,
Dame.
I'm sorry, UVA. I had
They
it
got to go to
backwards.
South Bend.
Yeah, but that's number 18 UVA versus.
I like
This
UVA
is-
over Notre Dame too. I think they'll give them a good
I
fight.
I want them to be that way.
He-
I don't know if UVA's got enough for Notre Dame.
He-
Playing in South Bend, I don't know if they got enough.
Hear me out on this. This is a hot take, okay? It's a hot take is basically like something that it's probably not going to be true, and it's probably mostly wrong, but you stick by it because because you think it could be right.
Because
at
it's
some
sports, and you
extension.
don't know what the hell's going to happen.
I could see UNC beating Clemson because it's at UNC, and Mac Brown has turned that team around tremendously.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
you know,
it is.
the-
I know it's a
it's
hot
tough to
take,
take
That's
down
hard.
the claim.
but the thing
That's
is
hard.
that
You can't knock the king.
yeah, you're right. But man, do they look good sometimes. UNC
But Clemson
has
looks fucking good all the time.
not against Texas A&M. They didn't. They did not look good against Texas A&M.
Texas A&M's better than UNC, though.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that it's an ACC opponent, it's an in-conference opponent, and it's a hot take, but I could see him beating him because I like Mac Brown. I like what he's done with the program. They won 2 games last year. They're 2-2 right now. At the start of the season, they're 2-2, and they went 2-9 last year. Okay, so I could see them taking this program to a different level. I think that they could beat Clemson. It's a hot fucking take, but I could see it. I could see it happening.
All right, well, let's write that down. So CJ, let's put that. I'm gonna keep that on my list. And so you're saying UNC. I'm putting it down here as a little star. UNC versus Clemson. Are they playing? They're playing in.
It's in Charlotte, so it's at UNC.
Uh-oh. And you're gonna take Clemson or Carolina to take down Clemson. Got a score? Anything?
It's got to be tight if you're going to win.
27-24?
I'm thinking 27-24 UNC.
Wow.
27,
They win it with a
24.
field goal.
Okay.
That's what I wrote down, 27-24.
Okay. I still like UVA going into Notre Dame and
Wow.
winning.
I would like that to happen. I don't know if they do have enough of that. But, hey, Bronco Mendenhall has taken UVA.
I think you got nothing to lose.
From nothing to number 18 in the country.
I think you got nothing to lose, and they go out there and they fire some shots, and they take Notre Dame by the horns and say, "We're gonna go for a ride," because you got nothing to lose. Like, you guys haven't been
Then
good
why
why
couldn't you say the same thing about Nebraska playing at Ohio State?
I think they're hyping Nebraska up to be more than they are.
No, they're another season or two away.
Because Ohio State,
they're going to be good.
They're going to be good, but they're still building. Ohio State is too good.
Yeah. Okay.
I got one more upset that I think could happen.
Uh-oh.
I think Mississippi State could beat Auburn this week.
Okay. Maybe.
Very well could.
I didn't
could
mark
see
that
that.
game. I
They're
remember reading it. I didn't
3-1,
mark
but the
it,
only
though.
loss that they have is to Kansas State, and that was because of some very good coaching by Chris Kleiman.
I could see that.
NDSU 8-time national champion coach for NDSU.
Yeah, well, the only LSU's the only one who's not going to take a dip anywhere.
No.
Because they have a bye week and things like that.
Exactly.
But Alabama, I don't see coming down there unless
Ole Miss is one of the worst
unless
teams,
Carolina follows through. And what you said, CJ, they're still going to be ranked number 1. Tua Tagovailoa and the rest of the freaking Tide. I don't see them changing. And Georgia, I don't see Georgia changing. Who's Georgia got? I just had it. Damn it. Who Georgia have? Ole Miss at Alabama. Jiminy Christmas. Maybe Georgia's off.
I don't see Georgia. They must be off.
They might have a bye week.
Kansas State is ranked now.
K-State, yeah,
man.
I saw that.
Chris
That's
Kleiman,
another.
hey.
That's another game. That's another Oklahoma State. I'm 40. I'm a man. Come at me. I love freaking Mike Gundy. You know what? Mike Gundy can roll into freaking or
No,
K-State,
it's coming to
K-State could go into Cowboy land and take it on the chin. They could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mississippi State at Auburn. You know what? You never know. How about Towson at Florida?
Yeah. Hey, Towson's a good FCS
If it was
team,
Appalachian State at Florida,
never sign Appalachian State to your schedule. Never do
go
it. Never do it.
App State.
Regardless of what year it was, never do it because they are that team that scares the shit out of you.
Okay.
Because you never know what you're going to get.
Well, that's our kind of top 25 there. That's what I had anyway.
Any other topics on college football before we wrap it up with Hops of the Week?
I'm good.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on to the final segment. We got about 6 or so minutes here. And Hops of the Week, do you want to start off or I can go first?
Yeah, we can. I can. That's not a problem.
Okay, go right ahead.
My Hops of the Week has to do with Facebook and Facebook suggestions. I don't want to. I've been curbing my language a little bit, but who the fuck is Facebook to suggest a friend for me? Like, I give a shit what Facebook thinks.
So simple, but so true.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would you fucking do that? If I didn't already have them as a friend, why would you think I might want to suggest it myself?
I think I'm a pretty good judge of character.
Right,
here,
right.
Okay?
I think I know who I want to have as my friends, and when I look at my list and I see shit on there, and I'm like Safari, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Who is that? And why would I want them as my friend? And I see these makes me so mad. Facebook is, I don't know. I like it and then I hate it. I like being with my friends. I like my friends who I got to pick Facebook. You know, those were the ones that I suggested and I contacted, not you fuckers. And so I just stay the hell out of my business with your suggestions. It's like Google trying to freaking learn what the hell becoming intuitive about how I search. So how about I search how bad Google fucking sucks and watch them how fast they change that. And then the other one I got is wine and beer snobs. You know what? I don't need you to change my opinion. I like the taste of the beer that I taste. And if I don't like it, well, guess what?
Who got after you on
You're
your
wrong,
beer taste?
sir.
Not that I listen to other people talk about them talking about beers. My boy Buzz and I, we were enjoying beers and we were like, hey, this one's okay. Yeah, this isn't too bad. It's a little hoppy or this or whatever like that. And then you listen to other
Just turn
people.
the TV off, Patrick,
You listen
up
to
there.
other people talk and you're like, you know what? That guy should be punched in the mouth. Just stop it. No one cares what you think about this particular beer.
Well, I'll say
it's a flavor thing. You know what I mean? If the
Absolutely.
flavor is something to my liking, it's like if you were chewing on a turd over there, I would be like, that turd
needs
looks really
some ranch.
good. But right, are you dipping that in cheese?
But okay, so I will say this. So Coach and Coach went to was it a brewery or a wine festival or something this weekend? Or
No, we went to Gettysburg, and they have several. They have all kinds of wineries, and they have just really cool places you can go and check out.
Okay.
And you don't stay in any one place for too long, and you enjoy the atmosphere. Which is really cool.
well, what was your favorite drink as a whole?
I went old school this weekend. I had a reflection back to my oldest brother and my father. We went into a place called, of all places, the Beer Mart. Beer Mart. Right across the street from
They played the
Walmart,
Hallelujah
they have
song.
a Beer Mart. And I walked in, and it's a freaking 5,000 square foot building of nothing but beer. Ice cold. And I got Killian's Irish Red, which we can't get down here for some reason.
Though.
And I also picked up a case of memorabilia, Old Milwaukee Light. And I remembered what being a kid was all about and stealing my dad's beers and tasting them. But
And then going and throwing up in the corner.
yeah, well, that was a long time ago. But I enjoyed that, and I grabbed myself. I bought 3 cases of beer this weekend. Now, trust me, I did not drink them all. I didn't even get close to drinking them all. I brought them home for my children to enjoy. But Old Mill Light, I got another case of Yuengling's Premium,
Fantastic.
the oldest beer. And then, of course, Killian's Irish Red, which we can't get down here for some reason, but it's a wonderful, wonderful Irish Red beer. And every time I go into these breweries and I look for Irish Red, they don't have anything close to Killian's. So I enjoyed myself immensely this past weekend.
So do you have a Hops of the Week, Pat, or no?
I do. So CJ and I went to Fridays the other day.
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
They went
On
to
Saturday.
Friday.
We went to
It's very
Fridays
confusing,
on
I
Saturday.
know.
But so we're sitting there and we're enjoying some drinks and we're shooting the shit and watching,
He's back.
UCF.
Coach is back. Sorry.
And we're watching UCF get beat by Pitt. And so we're sitting there and we're noticing how empty this place is. And we're like, what the fuck? It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock on a Saturday, and this place
And
is
I've worked
dead.
in food business at restaurants, not fast food restaurants.
and that's
that
like
place
the
should
dinner
be
rush.
packing.
It should be packing and great, and beer should be flowing. And we're sitting there, and we're like, "There's like nobody fucking here." and I'm thinking,
Then you should have had good service.
And we did.
Oh, we did.
But that's the thing. It's just like, why are y'all
Who
hating on?
cares? You get service.
But
That's
why
what
are
it's
we
all
hating
about.
on Fridays?
Yeah,
Like
I
they
love
had
Fridays.
great beer deals.
Like, I know it might be annoying, but it is Saturday.
I
You
like
can still go to Fridays.
$12 endless
I like Juan
apps.
down
You
there.
had good.
Juan
Oh.
and freaking Adam. Adam is freaking awesome bartender down there.
He wasn't
Friday.
there yesterday.
He was
Oh,
not
man.
there, no. But we
Like
got
me
great
some Adam.
service. They have great selection when it comes to drinks and booze, and it was fantastic, and the prices were good. And I'm just thinking the entire time, why are y'all hating on Fridays? Don't get your Fridays on. and that was hurting me.
Damn
a
you,
little
Zuki.
bit.
We're gonna
God
get,
damn it. Like,
get off this loser train and
I'm
get
like,
our
stop
Fridays
it.
on.
Stop hating on Fridays.
30
They-
oranges.
They
please.
got great deals, great booze, great beer. It was just a great atmosphere, and y'all are hating on it, and it
Yeah.
sucks. Go to Fridays,
Whoa.
man.
All right, we got 4
On
minutes.
Saturday.
My hops of the week. There was a tweet about Calvin Johnson a couple days ago
Oh, Megatron.
about how he had 9 concussions during his career.
Wow.
And after every single time, he went home and just smoked weed. He literally had to smoke weed because it relieved the pain of him having a concussion. I thought that was
I'm
very
not a
correct.
marijuana user, but I've heard of the freaking medical benefits of using it to help deal with pain.
And especially when it comes to not popping pills, because that's what the NFL does. You're going to take some pain pills, and I know players don't want to do that, especially.
And it takes a toll on your body, especially through your liver and because that's what your body does, it processes it. I'm not telling anybody, and I'm not a pro marijuana guy or anything like that. But if it solves a problem,
but if it's in
and
my
help-
backyard, you can all come get some.
but if it's you know what I mean, if it has a benefit, especially with pain relief,
Especially,
and recovery,
if it helps your
golly.
mental health as well.
When is our country going to get over the fact that there are things out there that don't have to be
Illegal like that.
right? And
All
I
it
don't know.
wants to do is just help
I
your
shouldn't
body.
I shouldn't promote that as a public.
No, you're right.
And if
As a
you're a
teacher,
professional and an individual,
right?
Pardon My Take talks about gambling all the time, and that's
but actually,
frowned
okay,
upon.
so my buddy
Marijuana
Chris,
technically isn't illegal in all 50 states.
Yeah,
but my
I
buddy,
get it.
but was it you or Chris that made the argument that said, the NFL is a national thing, and weed is not nationalized yet in terms of
That was Chris.
legality.
That was Chris,
So our buddy Chris was talking about it, and he goes, if the NFL wants to legalize it, it's kind of hard because of so many teams in different states, and not every state has it legalized. So if you're a national corporation like the NFL, you can't say,
Yeah.
hey, you can smoke weed only if you're in the
Smoke
right
weed
states,
every day.
because
Right.
because that could get players in trouble with national law.
Yeah,
and-
but
and
we're not
that- and
talking
that
about
sucks.
just saying, "Hey, we're going to go out and cut down a bunch of marijuana plants, and we're going to dry them out, and
You
we're,
can
we're
buy
just gonna
weed at the
get high."
games.
You know what? When you're talking about being prescribed by a doctor to deal with pain and discomfort and things like that, and there's an actual benefit to having THC, then I don't get it. I don't understand.
If you determine that it will help bring a better product to the field
and keep these guys
and keep
freaking
these guys
safe.
healthy and safe, or
yeah.
at least make them feel healthier,
Yeah.
then I say by all means, if it's going to increase your profits, do it. From a business decision, to me, it makes sense. Now, it depends on how you look at it, but I don't see the big issue with it. But I'm drinking beer in my fucking basement, and they're creating rules for the NFL.
Yeah, well, hey, it was a good Hops of the Week because it brought up a good discussion. You talk
Absolutely.
about life,
Yeah.
talk about if marijuana should be legal or or illegal. But that is all the time that we have for you
Yeah,
guys
man.
today. Thank you, Pat, once again for coming on. And we're
Absolutely.
getting into the season now, so we're not going to have as many people come on. It's probably just going to be Coach and I. But if you are more than welcome to come on, I know you live right upstairs. So,
I was going to say,
I did a long
Patrick-
drive down here, man.
Patrick lives local.
Fucking A.
so from all of us here at Pub Talk, thank you to Oktoberfest
Thank you,
and
listeners.
Port City Porter.
Love you, Porter.
And thank you once again to Route 11 Chips, who are our sponsor. We hope you guys have a safe Sunday night. We also hope you have a safe week. We will be back next Sunday. Until next time, love you guys. Peace out.